13.8 billion years ago, the Big Bang occurred. This created a large change in the universe, creating stars, chemical elements, and even the solar system, and what we now live on, the Earth. After the Earth was formed, it took a full 10 billion years for the first life form to come about, a prokaryotic cell. Over the next 3.8 billion years came many different forms of life, including the eukaryotic cell, which grew into water animals, which then adapted into land animals, and soon became what we now call a chimp, one of our oldest ancestors. This brings us to around 250,000 years ago, when something amazing happened, and the first recorded group of Homo sapiens lived on Earth. Many people often wonder what makes Homo sapiens so much greater and different than other creatures on Earth. Is it because they have larger brains? No. The truth is that they are able to use symbolic language in their living, which allows them to have collective learning and work together with other groups of Homo sapiens. The ability to work together through collective learning is something that no other species in history of the Earth had been able to do, and is what differentiates Homo sapiens from all other species and makes them much more powerful. Over time, Homo sapiens began to do things that no other species on Earth had ever done before, starting with agriculture and moving on to the modern revolution, where cars, gasoline, and big businesses began to come about. Unfortunately, these new innovations that the Homo sapiens were coming up with began to make a much larger impact than they expected. Polluting, overfishing, and overpopulation due to the increase in agriculture was just the start. The more Homo sapiens learned, the more they began to impact. Due to the depletion of the ozone layer, the average temperature in the world has slowly gone up. The average temperature in Hong Kong alone has risen by 2.7 degrees Celsius in the last 130 years. Also, the sea level has risen by 0.8 meters in the last century due to the melting of glaciers. Sustainability is the avoidance of the depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance on the Earth. Throughout big history, 5 major mass extinctions have occurred. Because of pollution, overfishing, and many other reasons, many other animals in the past century have gone extinct. If movements towards sustainability do not occur, we may be nearing our own mass extinction. In order to stop this, we have to use something called collective action. Over the years, sustainability slowly has been achieved. Over 52,000 wind turbines have been implemented in the US alone. Many different car companies have come out with electric cars all throughout the world. And the population with access to safe drinking water has grown by 15% worldwide, from 76 to 91%. Many may ask, what's next? It seems that we are already being very sustainable, but the truth is, we all have to collectively work together to make everything sustainable 100%. Between using big history to remember how the world naturally occurs, as well as sustainability to decrease our impact on the Earth, the Homo sapiens have an opportunity to do what no other species has ever done, and not go extinct.